Hello, friends. It's me again. Let's play a game together. It's called Battlefield 3. It's probably the last time we're gonna play it, so let's enjoy it. All right? 'Cause in a couple days, Battlefield 4 is gonna launch, and within a month of that, we'll probably all forget about Battlefield 3 and probably some of the crappy things that were in it and some of the great things that were in it, and we'll focus on Battlefield 4 and the crappy things that are in it and the great things that are in that. So let's take a stroll down memory lane, shall we? So, many of you may not know, or you may know, that I was actually not very good at video games for a long, long time. I was okay at like real-time strategy games, Red Alert and stuff like that, and StarCraft, but not first-person shooters. I was pretty flippin' awful. I was really, really bad. Uh, well, I built a new computer a few years ago and started playing Bad Company 2 a little bit, and got to where I was an okay player. And then I started playing Battlefield 3, and a little while into that, a lot of the competitive scene had already died down when I actually started playing competitive. But it was at that point that I actually got really good at video games, learning pre-firing, learning recoil control, learning how to burst fire weapons appropriately, learning, basic strategy of and tactics on how to move and how to get position on people and when to throw grenades and how to use audio cues and to listen for those footsteps behind you so you don't get knifed and all the things that we've learned in Battlefield. And remember when Battlefield 3 first launched, the major thing was the M16A3 and the suppressor, and that was like the ultimate combo, the perfect thing. You could kill everybody at range, you weren't on the mini map, and it was awesome. And I also remember when Battlefield 3 launched, the infrared was like ridiculous and you could see everyone so well. And then DICE was like, well, we don't want anything this good in the game, so let's nerf it into oblivion. And then everybody stopped using the suppressor and everybody stopped using the infrared night vision scope. And so that's one of the things that happens. That was the first major change in Battlefield 3 that was like kind of irritating, but kind of understandable because everybody was using the same exact thing. And of course, Battlefield 3 was plagued with updates that were few and far between and seemed to be almost as game-breaking as the things they fixed. For example, the M26 mass or dart glitch. If you remember that one, you had it underslung and it would, basically instant kill anybody anywhere. It was just raging death is what that was. So that was a fun experience for us. And a lot of glitches in the maps that still exist to this day after 2 years of the game being out that you'd think they would have fixed but just didn't happen. But even with all the game breaking and frustrating things like hit registration, I'm sure all of us have been killed about 10 feet behind cover or going prone, and then 2 seconds later we finally get shot in the head by someone that on their screen shot us in the head a long time ago. But that's the nature of the game, and in that sense it was kind of equally screwing everybody. So in terms of how unfair it might be, it shared the love a little bit. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but people with high pings definitely seem to have a little bit of an advantage on people with lower pings, and that is what it is. So there's a lot of things in Battlefield 3 that I'm not going to miss in any way, shape, or form, but I'm always going to be a little fond of this game because, like I said, this was the game that made me good at first-person shooters, that taught me so many of these essential things, like, trading with people and wishing that I'd paid more attention when I turned the corner, reloading when you take cover, and all of these things that are going to carry over into Battlefield 4. But Battlefield 4 is a new game, and we are all starting out at the start. I mean, everything's going to be different. The mechanics are going to be slightly different. The feel of the game is going to be different. The maps are going to be different. And so everybody gets to start fresh in Battlefield 4. Some things are going to be the same, obviously. Your ability to twitch aim. You're going to have to figure out your sensitivity. You're going to have to do the practicing on the walls and everything. Get your snapshots down and things of that nature. Just like you did in Battlefield 3. You're going to have to build that muscle memory. But that's not a bad thing, and there's going to be lots of new gadgets, and it looks like the infrared night vision is coming back with a passion, and that's going to be pretty awesome. So I'm looking forward to that. And of course, in Battlefield 4, there's going to be the OP guns, just like in Battlefield 3. You know, Battlefield 3 has its AEK and M16, and there will be something like that in Battlefield 4. I guarantee it, because in any first-person shooter, there's always a gun or two that's better than the rest, and it needs to be that way. It really does. And that's just the nature of it, is you can't make everything the same, or there would be no distinctive feel to anything, because everything would be exactly the same, and people would complain about that. So there's never making anyone happy in a video game, and they did a good job in Battlefield 3 of making a lot more people happy, and I think they're going to do a better job in Battlefield 4. So guys, if I don't see you on Battlefield 3 in the next couple days, we'll see you in Battlefield 4, and have a great night.